Welcome back to the show today. We are talking about the slow dismantling of the once great Los Angeles Lakers. From the time they were holding the Larry O'Brien trophy in 2020 until right now as they're getting ready for the 24-25 season, coming off a first-round exit to the Denver Nuggets last April. We're going to talk about every decision that took these champions into a team that's perennially finding themselves in the play-in tournament. So I actually want to start by talking about the Lakers before the season they won the championship, 2019. Remember, LeBron came to LA in 2018, and none of his friends came along with him. Boogie Cousins ended up signing a one-year deal in Golden State. He was good at the time. The Raptors ended up getting Kawhi from San Antonio, and Paul George re-signed with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So LeBron's first year in LA, he didn't have any other stars on his team. The Lakers were left signing guys like Rajon Rondo and Lance Stevenson, which weren't even enough to get the Lakers to the playoffs that year. LeBron missed the playoffs for the first time since 2005, his second year in the league. This was a big moment in his career and public perception of LeBron. LeBron had just taken the Cavs to the finals the year before, and the general perception was that LeBron could take a team full of anyone to the finals. It was kind of disrespectful to all those guys on that Cavs team because it was obviously not the case. The Lakers end up being the 10th in the West that year. They were 11 games off from even making the playoffs. Of course, maybe the guys on that Cavs team do deserve it. They finished 19-63. Yuck. So LeBron's Lakers started out really bad, but in the summer of 2019, everything changed. The Lakers finally decided to trade away their young core of guys. You know, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. They exchanged them for Anthony Davis, a guy they'd been trying to get for a while. Personally, the success of this trade really stuck out to me. Personally, I think teams tend to overvalue their group of young players that have talent and even more potential. They think their team is like the 2015 Warriors or maybe like the Orlando Magic now, and they believe that their group of young players is capable of that success. So they wait on it forever, and they turn down potential opportunities to trade for a veteran player. Just saying, Brandon Pajemski and Jonathan Kuminga might be better suited on a team without an aging superstar on a win-now timeline. Anyway, back to the Lakers. So personally, I was glad that the Lakers gave up on D'Lo, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball. Not that I don't like those guys or I don't want them to be successful. I was just happy that the Lakers were able to cut their losses. So this time, the Lakers were being smart. They were making great moves to assemble this team. They signed Danny Green, a two-time champion, fresh off the win from the 2019 finals with Toronto. 3-and-D guard Avery Bradley, he was good at the time. Dwight Howard, Jared Dudley, you gotta have a locker guy room in the locker room. Also, they were able to retain Caruso, Kuzma, and KCP, a couple bright spots from that 2019 season. So now the Lakers had a squad on their hands. They had a completely different look, and they were a completely different team. They went from being below 500 the year before to being the #1 seed in the West. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were both first-team All-NBA players. The Lakers pretty much walked their way to the championship that season. I'm not being biased, man. They only lost 5 games that entire playoff. And this is where the Lakers peaked. This was the height of LeBron's tenure at the Lakers, and probably will be. Everything worked out. LeBron got to LA, and he accomplished what he wanted to do, and he got it done pretty early. And it's a good thing that the Lakers won, because if they hadn't won that championship, I'd probably be talking about them like I talked about the Clippers 2 weeks ago. Go check out that video after this, alright? So now we're heading into the following season after that championship, and the Lakers had pretty much retained that championship team. They'd lost Danny Green to get Dennis Schroeder, a move that I liked at the time. I still like Dennis Schroeder. They also acquired Montrezl Harrell and Marc Gasol. All in all, I assume people thought this team would be better than the year before, if anything. But the post-championship hangover definitely kicked in. LeBron and AD missed significant time with injuries the following year. The Lakers finished 7th in the West, and they had to play their way out of the play-in tournament. Then AD had a groin injury in the first round of the playoffs. The Phoenix Suns beat the Lakers 4-2. So this was the biggest turning point for the Lakers, in my opinion. That team that they had just lost in the first round with wasn't that bad. Then the Lakers made some really big changes to a team that was already pretty good, and I think they just encountered bad luck. AD and LeBron were the only ones that really underperformed expectations, and of course they're never going to trade either of those guys. I think they should have just ran it back with the same team, but no, you can't do that in the NBA. So they traded for Russell Westbrook, an incredibly ball-dominant player. I can't think of a worse player to play with LeBron James. Evidently, the plan was to sign DeMar DeRozan.
Was the Lakers thing even remotely close?
Yeah. To my knowledge, I thought it was a done deal. They just made the trade for Russ. What's going on? I thought the deal was done for you to go to Lakers, and I was like, I'm looking at my phone like, damn, that did happen. Well, I guess that's out the window.
This would at least made a little more sense. So signing Russ was a negative, but on top of this, they also lost Kuz and KCP in the deal. The Lakers had no respect for these guys. This was a huge oversight on Rob Pelinka's part. I don't know if this decision was influenced by LeBron James or not, but man, did those guys look like chopped liver. I'm glad KCP ended up on the Nuggets and won a championship with them. I like that guy. On top of the Russ trade, another misjudgment that the Lakers had was not keeping Alex Caruso and keeping Talen Horton-Tucker. Caruso wanted to stay a Laker. He gave the Lakers first refusal refusal rights. He let them match the offer he got from the Bulls. The Lakers didn't want to pay the money, so they let him go. Keep in mind, THT cost more money than Caruso did. The reason I think they kept THT is because he was a clutch client. That's LeBron's agency. So, say what you will, but I'm sure that had something to do with it. Caruso is now coming off 2 all-defensive seasons, and THT just signed a 1-year minimum deal with the Bulls. Hindsight is 2020, but no one liked this deal at the time. Did you? I don't think anyone did. Caruso rules. It was a pretty big up, dude. So the Lakers with Russ were a disaster. The team went from bad to worse. They didn't even make the play-in tournament in 2022. They fired Frank Vogel for some reason. People said it was because he refused to bench Russ, which I don't think is fair. It wasn't his idea to bring him in the first place. And he knew relegating Russ to the second unit was just going to cause a lot more drama. How do I know that? Because the following season they hired Darvin Ham, and Darvin Ham put him on the bench, only started him 3 games. And then the Lakers reached Real Housewives level of drama. LeBron clearly had enough of Westbrook. Whether it was on-court interactions, post-game interviews, or passive-aggressive tweets, LeBron was trying to get a new look from his team. Remember this moment from January 2023?
We know in this room what we can be. We just got to keep stacking, keep building, keep doing things the right way. Being together, being competitive, being aggressive. Let's keep this going.
Let's get greedy.
Let's get real greedy, man. Let's get real greedy.
Get greedy, man.
We got on
Let's go, man.
Keep having fun, bro.
Yes, sir.
You have it for the next man. Keep having fun, bro. Win, lose, or draw, have fun. Just keep having fun, bro. Go, man.
Russ interrupts LeBron with a completely contradictory message from what he's saying. LeBron doesn't even care enough to argue. Just says, yes, sir. Completely emotionally checked out from the relationship. He knew his ass was getting traded anyway, so he just let him talk. So awkward, dude. So eventually, Russ does get traded before the deadline. I've talked about this trade a lot in other videos, but what I need you to know for the intention of this video is that the Lakers gave up draft assets to get rid of Russ and get off of his contract, meaning they gave up draft assets to get him, and then they lost more draft assets trying to give him up. So if you ever feel like you're underperforming at your job, just remember the comforting thought that Rob Pelinka is still the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers. So after they gave up Russ, they had the best record in the West for the rest of the season, and they actually made the playoffs as the 7th seed and then made the Western Conference Finals, only to get swept by the Denver Nuggets, but still not too bad. But then this last year, they got beat 4-1 in the first round of the playoffs by the Nuggets again. Again, this team isn't bad, they're just depleted. They didn't sign any notable free agents this offseason, even though LeBron took a pay cut so they could have the mid-level exception. It didn't matter, the only new additions to the team are Dalton Connect and Bronny James Jr. Also JJ Redick as the head coach, I guess, that's something. It's different. So the team didn't really improve, and the West has improved. This team is mid, they're mediocre, they are not a bad team, and I'm not trying to say they're a bad team. They're gonna make the play-in tournament, they'll probably be the 7th or 8th seed, but I'm sure that's not what LeBron wants. He's not gonna be happy with that. At the same time, he's fully responsible for the situation he's in. I'm assuming the Russ trade was his idea. Re-signing THT was his idea and letting Caruso go. Trading away Russ, the guy that he wanted in the first place, probably his idea. Using the Lakers' 2nd round pick this year to get Bronny James, his son, his idea, I would assume. And hiring his podcast co-host as the head coach of his team, probably his idea. He really has no excuse for what the last few years of his career are gonna be and have been. Obviously, I'm still somewhat of a Lakers fan, so I hope for the best, but, you know, ultimately, I don't care about the Lakers this year. All right, thanks for being here. Leave a recommendation for a video you would like to see. This was a suggestion for a video. Leave a comment, I reply to all of them. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like this video, dislike it. I don't care. Be good to your mothers, eat a corn dog.